The following program contains names, places, and events that have been anonymized or fictionalized for the purposes of protection and safety. The following program is provided for entertainment purposes only, and any commentary from the hosts are strictly conjecture and should not be held as making any definitive statements about the truth or identity of any particular individuals or circumstances. If you or a loved one are involved in an abusive relationship, please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 for support.
Hi, happy Dating Detectives Monday.
And happy part 2. Not happy, but we're back for part 2.
Yeah, and we're literally sitting cheek to cheek.
We recorded this episode in LA, and now we're recording the intro on the Friday before it comes out. And we're about to go do an escape room with other podcast hosts. But beforehand, we had to get this in, and we're next to each other sharing a mic.
It's a Spotify event that we're doing tonight. So I came back to LA and we get to, I love recording with you, but I love, like, we are literally sharing headphones and a mic. This is so
Like,
cool.
I'm sorry if I brushed my teeth.
I don't know if I did. Do I? Does my armpit stink? It's fine.
It's okay. It's okay. We're all family here.
Yeah. And I know you guys are so ready for this part 2. So do we need to do a quick recap?
I can do a quick recap because
you know they want to get to it.
I always need a recap, and then fast. So we have our guest Abby, the sweetest.
Yeah, I loved Abby. I really did. I love her.
She met Peter in college, and he was a little weird, but he was like innocent and cute and like a puppy dog.
In like the nerdy kind of way.
Then they start kind of dating. He says he has multiple personality disorder, but the way he explains it is kind of like, let me introduce you to my other personality, Doug, which we know that's not how that works.
So like Peter Doug was like, let me dip my toes in. Okay, what did you think of that? Like he was trying to he
did a monologue. Then he said he had throat cancer, but he was okay after that. Just some things building up.
I'm glad he was well.
If he had throat cancer, I hate to be that cynical, but I don't know if I buy it. And then he started getting creepy, kind of stalking her family and friends. So she ended it. Then later, she was raped by her roommate, another man. And that is devastating and definitely continuing to remind you that there is a lot of sexual assault. And we're going to get into more revenge porn, or not revenge porn. It's not. We're going to get into some.
It's a lot.
Assault and non-consensual.
Just trigger warning.
God, I don't even know where to begin. But after that horrible experience, he was the only one that really was there for her. And that's how he weaseled his way back in.
And what do you do when the one person you had this issue with and you broke up with him because you didn't trust him is the one person that is there for you when you go through this traumatic event? Like it's a mind F.
Yes. And he was much better. So for a year, it was like perfect. All of the good things from the beginning came back, and she was like, okay, maybe we're better. He did plant an idea in her head that she had bipolar disorder, and she went and got medicated for that, which makes her pretty fuzzy, and that will continue to be a theme. And then we ended where she was kind of providing for them. They moved to a new city together. He was not working, but then she lost her job because of COVID. The struggle was real. And she found out that he had started an OnlyFans using her photos, her nude photos, her image and name without telling her and without her consent.
So we're going to finish the story now and let you hear the rest of it. And just hold on to your seats and just try to just know trigger warning, trigger warning.
And we're going about our life. And one day he says, hey, I want to show you this screenshot I have. And it's my face and his face, or not our faces, but our bodies on an OnlyFans account. And
what?
It's under my name.
You and him together under an OnlyFans that's under your name.
Under my name.
And it's a real photo?
I freak out.
No faces, just bodies?
No faces, just bodies.
So doing what?
She's shirtless. I'm in like a swimsuit, I think. And it's just a picture of the two of us on a profile. So I'm obviously freaking out. Yeah. I was raised Catholic girl, raised. And so I was like, holy moly, like if my parents see this, I'm like, you can't see our faces, but if my parents found out about this, I would freak out.
And you said it was your name? He used your real name?
He used my real name.
Jeez.
Oh my
And
god.
Also,
then,
just non-consensually
yeah,
looking at
just don't
OnlyFans is a
use
no,
me,
obviously.
And then my dad's also a judge. So
Yeah, because then yeah. Oh my god.
What's his defense on this?
he tells me he's been talking to like hundreds, like 100 people a day as me. And he's sending my personal pictures. So no head, but pictures
What?
I had sent him. Yeah. And he's been chatting these people up as me. And I was like, can I see these conversations? Because I want to know what I'm saying. And he's like, well,
Oh.
I feel really weird about it. And I
You
don't really
feel
want to show
weird?
you.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
So
Like,
was
what are
he
you
showing you as an apology, or was he just like, I just want to let you know I've been doing this, but that's it? What's the point of telling
Where's
you?
Doug? Get Doug in here.
He has his phone and he's just like, this is what I've been doing. And then I told him he should feel weird. I was like, you should feel really weird and you should feel really gross.
And this is after he's just been really nice, everything's fine, like la-di-da, and then all of a sudden, bam, OnlyFans.
Yep.
Also, just to clarify, it is like he's sharing intimate photos, like nudes.
Yes.
That's
my
fucked up.
God.
And I have a tattoo that is identifying. And it's not like my name, but
Yeah.
anyone who knows who I am can see that tattoo on my side
Oh my
and know who
God.
I am.
No, this is
Oh my God.
illegal.
It is. And so I'm working 60 hours. It's like, I can't deal with this. Pause. Stop everything. And he's like, okay. He's like, I'm so sorry. He goes, I just thought, I'm not making money. I just thought a bunch of women are doing this to make money. And I thought that this would be a nice thing. And I was like, it's
Oh
not
my
a nice
God.
thing.
No,
I
it's not.
feel really violated and really bad. But I was like, we'll talk about this, and we talk about it. We talk, and he's just apologizes. And he was freaking out because he's like, oh God, I just didn't even know that this would be such a big deal.
I'm sorry, what? What?
Uh-huh.
He knows what happened to you, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
So this is so traumatic. And then in general, who in their right mind thinks that this is something you can do without
How long had
consent?
he been doing this the whole year?
I don't know how long. I have never to this day been able to see any of the messages or any of the photos. I
Oh
know
my
which
God.
photos. Yep. I don't have the login to the OnlyFans, and I have been trying to figure some stuff out, which I'll get to.
Yeah.
But
Abby, I'm so sorry. That is so
God.
and
Abby, I am
Okay.
so sorry. How violating.
and I'm freaked out too. Still, I'm like, what if? Let's say for some reason he forgets to cut my face off. Like,
Yeah.
what if one day I'm walking and somebody's like, hey, I've been talking to you online,
Oh my God.
or like tries to make a move on me, or be like, oh, well, we were flirting
Or
online.
tries to
I'm like,
find
Or
your
finds you
information
and then knows who your
online.
dad is and then blackmails you.
exactly. And there are just
Oh
so many
my
variables.
God.
So he agrees to, we pause it, we talk about it, and I am just so stressed out. So I end up getting a promotion. I'm working, I'm exhausted, and this goes on for months with the medication, and then I'm laid off. So I'm the only income we have, and I'm laid off because of COVID. And we're at that point on the brink of not being able to pay rent.
Oh
And
my God.
yeah, and we've exhausted my parents' help. He won't ask his parents for help. And I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna get kicked out of the apartment. We have cats. Like, we can't be homeless.
Oh
Like,
my
we have
God.
friends and a life here. I'm panicking and I'm calling my dad. I'm like, do we have to go back home? And he says, well, let's just pause for a second because I think I have a solution.
Did you told your dad everything that was going on?
I told him that I did not want to tell him about the OnlyFans.
No, he'd freak out
Did
probably.
you tell anyone about the OnlyFans, like friends or anybody?
I didn't, because I was so embarrassed about it. And my mom and I are like best friends, but that's still something where I'm like, no, you don't need to know about that. And I just like, I don't know how she would have responded to
So
it.
icky
But
feeling.
yeah, I mean, my dad knew we were about to get kicked out, but he's just like, sometimes you have to learn and come home if you can't make it somewhere.
Yeah.
And then Peter says, I have an idea.
Oh,
It will help us. It will help us pay rent.
I
and
bet
we can
it's
stay here."
brilliant. I bet it's great.
And he said a really famous person on OnlyFans wants to work with you, and everyone they work with makes really good money. I could set up a meeting just to chat. And I think about it. I'm on this medication and I'm like, I don't have any other options because I have cats to feed. I
Oh
have my
my
mouth to feed.
God.
You
And
have
so,
this man child to help feed.
so I end up going really hesitantly, but I'm like, I have to get food, So we go to this hotel, a nice hotel, and he's like, it's just a chat. I go in there, lights, camera, setup, and there are three people that I don't know in lingerie
What?
waiting for me.
So I'm a very hot sleeper. Do you ever wake up like super sweaty? Or maybe you wake up really cold and freezing or just uncomfortable. The temperature in your bedroom can make or break your sleep. We know this, but that's why I switched to Miracle Made sheets. They are inspired by NASA technology and they use silver infused temperature regulating fabric. So it helps you sleep perfectly all night long and it regulates to you. We all three, Molly, Mackenzie, and I love our Miracle Made sheets. They've got tons of options in terms of color. They really feel as luxurious as like a hotel room, a 5-star hotel, but without the steep price tag. They're super breathable. And I didn't even mention, oh my gosh, they're great for your skin because they have antibacterial design and it helps the sheets stay cleaner and they stay cleaner longer. So you can do your laundry a little bit less and be totally fine. That silver infused fabric I talked about, it prevents up to 99.7% of bacterial growth. So upgrade your sleep or give the gift of better rest. Go to trymiracle.com/TDD to try Miracle Made sheets today. You'll save over 40%. And when you use promo code TDD, you'll get an extra 20% off plus a free 3-piece towel set. They make an amazing gift. And with a 30-day money-back guarantee, there's no risk. That's trymiracle.com/TDD, code TDD at checkout. Thanks to Miracle Made for sponsoring this episode. Remember that doctor's appointment you were supposed to make a while ago? That one you meant to book, but you got sidetracked and then completely forgot about it until right now. You're welcome for reminding you, by the way. This could be your dentist appointment, that biannual cleaning. Maybe you have an overdue annual checkup that's been 3 years in the making. Now that I use ZocDoc, it's so easy to book it today. So why not book it today? ZocDoc makes it amazing to find the right doctor and you can do it fast. It's all online. You'll probably be able to book an appointment before the end of this ad if you want to. I have been using ZocDoc for years and I have bragged about how good I am at finding doctors. Like I've referred people to multiple specialists and they've been like, wow, you have a knack for this. And I'm like, it's ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. You can put in your insurance and book in-network. You can look through over 100,000 doctors across every specialty. You can filter based on what you're looking for, location, if you want to see a specific gender for something, if you want any specialty. And you can see ratings, which is so wonderful because other verified patients can help you pick the best choice for you. Once you find the right doctor, you can see their actual appointment openings and then choose a time slot that works for you and click to instantly book a visit. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/TDD to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/TDD. ZocDoc.com/TDD. So this is like casting couch.
So I'm telling him, like, this is not what we agreed to. I'm really scared about this. And he's like, okay, they have some alcohol in there. Go have a drink. And he's like, we are here. If we want to make money, like, we have to do this. So I'm panicking. I'm not in the right headspace. And I'm like, okay, like, I'll just go have a
Right.
drink. I'll try to calm down.
You're on that med. Oh my God.
So we end up making the content because we're there and I feel embarrassed and weird that they think that they've been talking to me and setting this up, but
And
it's,
it's three
him.
women.
And
Okay.
when they're asking me questions, I'm like kind of looking at them weird and they're like, you said you'd be open to doing XYZ. And
Oh my
So now you're in a
God.
position where you
Oh
either have
my
to be
God.
very inconvenient or make a scene or ruin this situation or or just go with it.
So one of the guys there, he said, "This is your first time. Let's put a mask on you." And I was like, "Yeah, at the very freaking least." Like so we make the content and I get done and I feel so gross
Yeah.
because I have been a monogamous girly my whole life and I am feeling icky. We left the room, went down to our car because we had to drive all the way home. I was feeling really gross in my body, just like really dirty, if that makes sense. And like I just wanted to go home and scrub off. And at the time, Peter was really excited. So we had a huge mismatch of energy. Like on the way home, he was super excited, ecstatic, was like, oh, this was so great. And for me, I was completely the opposite. I was really quiet. I was really trying to be as small as I possibly could in that moment because I just was feeling so gross and overwhelmed and confused and just really trying to figure out what that meant for me. And he tells me, "You should feel so empowered. Like, this is women taking back sexual power, like women have to be, just this
A
one, so
manipulation to try
obedient."
and make you feel okay about
Hmm.
it.
Anything
Yes.
starting with "you should feel," I don't like.
100%.
And so, yeah, we made some money off of it. And I don't know how much, but this is a big content creator. And that's when a couple days later, Peter tells me that he met this super famous person on OnlyFans. I'm talking 0.01% creator, one of the top creators on the platform, named, we'll say Duncan. And he reached out to me and said that he wanted to make content. When Peter brought it up to me originally, I was really, my body like retracted, like, no, I don't want to do this. But there was also this, okay, I have to do this. Like, we need the money, we need the rent, There was this pull of like, I don't want to do this, but yet I feel like I'm obligated to. And it was just such an overwhelming experience of how do I get myself to be safe, but also how do I get us to like get through. So my therapist and I have talked about this now, but I learned to almost completely dissociate from my body, where I was just not present. It was just an autopilot kind of like shell at that point where I was like, I'm going to have to do these things. And I'm going to have to get into a mindset where I almost turn myself off completely to be able to numb and be in the moment. Because I really was not wanting to do this second experience and it was pushed on me. So I just had to find a way to get my body to be able to do something like that. And, I just kind of shut off. And that whole series of the few months where I was doing that was mostly a blur for probably a year.
Oh my god.
I meet with Duncan, and Duncan's one of the kindest people I've ever met. So I feel a tad bit better about the situation. And Duncan tells me that he's managed a lot of people that make like a minimum 6K every month. And he blurs my face out, and it was supposed to blur my tattoo out, but he didn't. And so I was really upset about that. But he gave me advice and said, well, you can also just do feet pictures and stuff, and you don't have to do anything weird. And he's like kind of giving me some advice, and he's a nice guy, and there's no like weird stuff. But I'm so stressed out, I end up becoming super anemic and sick from all this stress. I gained 40 pounds
Oh,
and I'm
wow.
like not in the spot I used to be where like I really can't get out of bed. And I tell Peter, I'm like, I literally physically can't do this. And he tells me that Duncan knows bad people. And if we stop or like cross
Shut
him,
up.
that he have people come to our house because this content, we're making it at our apartment.
What?
So they know where you live.
They know where we live. And the thing is that Duncan was so nice, but he did at one point tell me that he had somebody cross him or somebody said something to him and he was sending somebody after him. So it's
So he's setting the tone for if you cross me, I'll do the same to you, basically.
and it wasn't like, well, and it's hard because I don't think it was necessarily super meant as a threat towards me, but Peter took that and he just
Ran
twisted it
with
to
it.
use it.
Yeah.
So
Oh
I
my
agreed to
God.
continue making the content. And apparently,
Oh my
again,
god,
like
oh
I
my
don't know
god,
how
oh my
many
god.
people we had, but it got a lot of traction and made quite a bit of money for a period of time. And he was able to pay our rent.
So you're not seeing
So
any of the money yourself. He's
mm-mm,
managing all of that.
Oh my
Duncan's
god.
mm,
managing some of it. And you are still feeling this fog and just showing up where you need to show up. This is trafficking.
yeah, yes, that word has been used. And the more I've processed the situation, the more I do feel like it is. At the time, I felt like I was just a
Yeah,
zombie,
no,
just
you
like,
don't see it at the time. And I'm not
mm-mm.
saying that you should have. I just, that's,
This is our OnlyFans pimp episode.
you're not alone in the dating detectives community, unfortunately.
The OnlyFans pimp episode was very, very similar about two women who experienced a pimping on OnlyFans, and it was like a
And it's
whole
not common. No one's talking about this, and it's new.
yeah,
And law
Hmm.
enforcement isn't caught up to tech and what to do to handle this stuff. And people are like, what do you mean you got forced to
trafficked
do
on
OnlyFans?
OnlyFans.
How did you get forced to? And it's like, it's so important that we're
Coercive
talking about that.
manipulation, coercion, they prey on unmet needs. And in this case,
Hmm.
it was financial instability. You wanted to have your rent paid, you wanted a home, you were not doing well financially,
You
and you
wanted to
had
survive.
yeah. And Peter preyed on that.
This is a good, I'm going to make a note for sex workers who are choosing to do OnlyFans or sex work. This is a great reminder to vet the people you maybe meet online and work with. And if
Yeah.
someone walks in your position and you think that they have consented to all this, I don't know how you do it, but you need to make sure that that's true. You need to make
Yeah.
sure, you need to learn the signs of this control
Yeah,
because,
and there's hand signs, there's silent
yeah,
signals you can give that would indicate, "Hey, I'm not in this." So you can silently indicate to one
because
another.
I know I mean, people collab, it's like, oh, this is another creator. Let's get together and make content. And it's like,
Yeah.
now we don't know who's behind that conversation.
And then remind me too at the end after we find out how this ends to ask me. I just reached out to OnlyFans and I got a really weird response from them.
Okay, writing it down.
So after we go through this saga, Peter tells me that there's a private swingers club that's super exclusive. It's a real thing, and a bunch of celebrities go to these parties. And he said that this would be a good place for us to network because essentially, A, we'd be able to keep paying our rent with these different creators. And B, it's actually genuinely a place where people network, which is really interesting. And I was really wary, first of all, because no thanks. Second, because Duncan made it really, really, really clear that if we worked with him, we are not to work with anyone else for safety reasons. Because he's very like health wise, STDs can get,
You
Right?
don't say. He gave
and
you a
he
non-compete? Fuck that guy.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds pimpy.
Very.
and Duncan was like, he's like, you don't have to work with me anymore, but I will not work with you unless you just work with me. But also he goes, I just don't ever want to get, HIV, anything like that.
Of
Yeah,
And I
course.
was
yeah.
like, well, yeah, that makes sense to me. And these swinger parties, you don't get tested. You don't know. Like if you don't know the person, you don't know if they have anything. So you're going in and just kind of rolling the dice. And we go to a party, and this is a non-sex party. It is a purely like you go there and it's just a sex positive thing. And I'm like, I'm willing to go to a sex positive thing where there's nothing going on, there's no sex. And we get to sent this location, and it was this like really wild experience. Genuinely, it was kind of cool because it was only like 20 or 30 people knew this location, and it was a pretty big deal. But he convinced me to go to another one where he's like, okay, again, like you don't have to go and have sex with these people. And he kind of told me it was the same thing. I was like, well, I enjoyed it. We just played board games and, you had some chips. It was good. And he's texting me relentlessly for like 3 or 4 days, all day, every day, like, hey, these are all the reasons we should go. And at that time, I'm just like, I'm so freaking tired. I'm just like, I need him to stop. So I'm like, okay, I'll go to this. You just need to stop talking. And like, I am exhausted, 12 hours a day of just texting me, of just like, hey, we have to do it. So we go, and he's like, have some drinks. And there's just this pattern of party after party getting me drunk, convincing me to swing so he could have sex with other women.
I was going to ask, is he involved in any of this content or sleeping with people? So there we
Yes.
go.
When we're going to the parties and when I'm having to go, like, quote unquote network, imagine a boulder going off of a cliff and that boulder in your stomach. That's the feeling where it just your stomach drops and you feel sick and you feel nervous. But again, I'm just at the point where I'm just like, I mastered almost the ability to just completely turn off everything. Or it's just like, it wasn't sociopathic by any means, but it was what they call true dissociation, where it's just like you're just so disconnected from your environment. So I just felt like I was there. I was physically there. I was not mentally there. And it was weird too because the parties were like low lighting. So it really did feel like a fever dream. It did not feel real in any sense. And while I was on the way to these parties, I felt sick. I felt nervous. I felt anxious. My heart was beating really fast. And I'm just like ready to vomit. But once we got there, it's almost like my body was ready to just like, boom, like disconnect.
He got you medicated so that you'd be easily malleable. He could shape you and get you to do whatever he wanted.
And at this point, I'm pretty much submissive to him. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't have any backbone because I've just been worn down. And a couple months later, he flies me on my dream trip where I've always wanted to go to Hawaii, to Maui specifically. And we go to Maui and we get engaged on top of a volcano. It is literally picturesque, romantic. It is incredible. It is one of the coolest experiences of my life. And he's showering me with love and affection. He does not talk about any swinging, anything crazy like that. Is just about me. And he lets my parents know. And my dad says he's not excited, but they're like, okay, well, this is, they don't
Yeah,
know
it's your
any of what's
choice.
going on.
Yeah.
So they're like, we'll support her. And from my family, there's not this happy, energetic, like, "Woo," that
Yeah.
you usually would get. And he proposes, we're engaged.
'Cause they don't like this guy, right? Like, you're pretty sure they don't like this guy?
Yeah, with the Sony stuff and the
Yeah.
dad running over, they're just like, just something's not right." Go back to Nashville and I continue to get sicker and just gain a bunch of weight. So we slowly over 6 months decided to move to New Mexico. And it was my original idea because where we were living was so expensive. And even with the OnlyFans money, we need food, we need cat food, we need all of the things. And I was like, this is just not a good environment. Like, this feels stressful. We're not in a good spot. What if doing a refresh, trying somewhere new? What if we try that? And originally he was like, no, I want to be here, work on my music. But after a couple months of things between the two of us not doing so great, I think that was he didn't want to lose me or control of me. And that was a sacrifice that I think, quote unquote, sacrifice he was willing to make. And when we're thinking about kind of the closing of the OnlyFans chapter, it was a small dwindling. So I was anemic. It's the start of me getting these chronic illnesses that I'm still stuck with. So you can just imagine how horrible I was feeling at the time. And with the 40 pounds of weight gain, it didn't necessarily take me out of OnlyFans, but it made me not really the ideal target. And I hate saying that because I really am like, want to be so body positive. But for some of these creators I was meeting with, that was the standard which they wanted. And so, in a way, I kind of lucked out by gaining some weight and not being this ideal candidate and being able to be like, okay, we're moving, I'm not doing well. I'm able to kind of break away really slowly, pull back piece by piece. And even though Peter was like, oh, this creator is so dangerous, by moving, we weren't cutting that tie. We weren't crossing him in any way, but we were moving so far away from him that it would be really impractical for him to come out to us to make this content. So I like to say I kind of like lucked out by being able to pull away physically as well and putting so much distance between us and these creators where it just like it wouldn't work and they wouldn't come out.
I am so excited that this podcast is sponsored by Suvie. That's SUVIE. and it is the kitchen robot that will blow your mind. I am very genuinely obsessed with my sous vide. It's a smart countertop oven, and it also has a flexible meal delivery service. But overall, it just saves you hours in the kitchen every week, and it's so cool and it works so well. Let me tell you how it works. So, this is kind of your all in one. You've got an air fryer, you've got slow cooker. It has 15 cook modes, and you can pretty much use it to cook any recipe. It has a top shelf and a bottom shelf that you can do two different temperatures, two different types of meals. And my favorite part is the built-in refrigeration. So you can put in your ingredients in the morning and tell the genius sous vide that you want it done by 7 p.m. And then it will keep everything cold until it's time to cook and have it all ready for you right when you need it. So you don't even have to be home to start cooking. And then if you use their meal delivery service, the ingredients, which are so yummy, they come with a tap to cook technology. So you get a little card, you tap it on the sous vide, and it's like, I got it. I know what to do. You don't have to do any settings. It's very good if you're like me and kind of not great at timing or following directions. It's so easy. I've also just found myself cooking more, cooking healthier. I'm roasting vegetables just to have as a healthy snack because it's just so easy to pop them in. And I really don't think I would do that without the sous vide. I know that a lot of our listeners are very busy. You all tell us that you're listening to us while you're doing 16 other things. So stop spending hours in the kitchen and a fortune on takeout or delivery. Sous vide is the simple solution that can take some of the stress out of planning dinner. Sous vide also offers a 100-day risk-free trial, so give it a try. Go to suvie.com/dating detectives to get 16 free meals when you order. That's SUVIE.com/dating detectives to get 16 free meals with your risk-free trial. Save time, eat better with sous vide.
So, funny story, when I was in college, I opened a credit card because they were like, "Hey, you have a credit card." And I was like, "All right, cool." I thought it was free money. Like, what? It's not free money, you guys. And so, if I could give myself any advice when I was younger, it's take care of your credit now because when you're 41 years old, you're not going to be stressed about finances. Anyways, my point is take care of your credit. And a great way to do that is with Ava. Ava is a credit building app that makes it so easy to improve your credit fast so you can get better rates on loans, pay off debt faster, and keep more money in your pocket. Getting a secured card can take months, but you can be approved for Ava in 5 minutes and get credit up to $2,500, pay for existing bills and subscriptions automatically, no credit check, no interest, and no hidden fees. It's just an easy tool that helps you build your credit behind the scenes. And most members see their credit go up in less than a week. So Ava reports your on-time payments to all major credit bureaus every single day. So it'll help you build your solid credit history quickly. And the longer you stick with Ava, the higher your score can go. It's really, really easy to use. I use it and I really like it. Take control of your credit right now. Download the Ava app, spelled AVA, today. And when you join using our promo code DATING20, you'll save 20% for your first year, monthly or annual, your choice. Again, get the Ava app and use our promo code DATING20 so they know you heard it from us and get 20% off whatever plan you choose for up to a year. Use our promo code DATING20. Thanks to Ava, and now go get yourself some good credit.
I'm a pretty basic makeup girl. No makeup routine is my favorite. And sometimes it's just hard to find something really simple. So I really love Jones Road Beauty because it's a minimalist makeup brand. And it's founded by the makeup artist Bobbi Brown, who is like the queen of no makeup and has been forever. She created versatile and easy to use products that really simplify your routine. And it's clean makeup that actually looks great. I've been really into the Miracle Balm. I got the color Tawny, which kind of makes me look like I just went on a run, like that like natural flush, but I didn't have to go on a run. But it looks that natural. Like it's very glowy. It's not too heavy. Jones Road products are just meant to enhance what makes you you rather than covering that up. So it creates an effortless, natural, no makeup look. Miracle Balm is a bestseller. It's like the makeup skincare hybrid that gives you a natural glow, a true multitasker. And I'm all about multitasking products. You can use the Miracle Balm as a tint, as a blush, a bronzer, a highlight, or on the lips. And it has a really wide range of colors. I love how they say they're trying to give you your skin, but better. And also in under 60 seconds. So you can get out the door glowing without putting too much work into it. There's also a full lineup of effortless skin first staples like their Just Enough tinted moisturizer. It's a lightweight formula. It smooths an even skin tone with a soft touch of coverage, hides redness, looks natural, feels like nothing on your skin, especially if you're somebody that doesn't like heavy feeling makeup. This is great. It's packed with skin friendly ingredients to keep skin moisturized without clogging your pores. Modern day makeup that's clean, strategic, and multifunctional for effortless routines. For a limited time, our listeners are getting a free cool gloss on their first purchase when they use code Dating Detectives at checkout. Just head to jonesroadbeauty.com and use code Dating Detectives at checkout. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them our show sent you.
So after about like 6 months, we ended up moving to New Mexico next to one of my childhood friends, Kira. When we moved to New Mexico, we got married shortly after we ended up moving. It was a big wedding. There were 300 people there, and I fell on my face. I
Oh,
tripped.
no.
Going down the aisle?
We made our big grand entrance, and I tripped, which is kind of typical for me.
Me
Typical,
too.
but also a sign, perhaps.
Also a sign, perhaps.
So I like had this picture. My only picture I posted was me like laughing and falling. It was a pretty nice day overall. There wasn't anything weird. Some of his groomsmen had some weird energy, and I didn't understand why. But that's when I meet Sam, Peter's best man. And remember that name because he's going to come up later. So we moved to New Mexico. We're next to Kira. He starts getting really obsessed with Kira. He always kind of has like known
geez, of
her.
course he did.
And he's talking to her every day, like texting her. And he's like, well, I'm just a guy who like, I really like having friends that are girls.
I'm literally just a guy.
I'm just a guy, okay? And my parents, out of like trying to support me, he says he wants to open a business. He actually has a fantastic idea for the business. My parents say, we have some money set aside. We're willing to give you a small loan to start your business because we want to make sure.
Who said that to him?
My parents.
Your parents.
Because they're getting married.
Because
they're like, okay,
we're getting
this
married,
is my daughter's
and they
future.
Yep. They want to set us up for a good future, and they
course.
don't know everything that's going on.
Of course.
So they give him $15,000.
Wow.
And he blew it all. And he starts, so he has my dad's credit card number because he had to buy something. So he starts charging things to my dad's credit card.
Oh my God.
And my dad doesn't notice because he has automatic pay on his credit card. So he's not checking his statement, not at least at first. And then he claims he has this revolutionary technology. So this is around the same time Peter started doing acid every single day.
What?
Oh no.
Acid?
Every single day, which now I know, so I've heard you're supposed to wait like a month or something between when you do it.
So is he like fully doing a lot every day? Like he's just
Mhm.
tripping all day every day?
He is. And he did, and this is my estimate, probably underestimating, at least 100 tabs in like 3 months.
That is not good for anybody involved.
Holy shit.
No.
I can't even imagine the effect that has.
Well, 3 months is 90 days. That's at least once a day.
Yep. It was almost every single day. Maybe there were a day or two sprinkled that he didn't do it. So he started doing acid because he got money from OnlyFans, and he had done it a few times before we moved. So back like when we were in college and we had met, but it was nothing like what he was doing at the time. So he said it was for spiritual reasons, and he wanted to get past some of these big traumas that he had. But he kept doing it because he said it made him feel good and it would reset his brain. And then once he started doing it consistently, he used it almost like somebody would use Adderall because he felt like it gave him better like attention and focus. And obviously he couldn't get a substance like Adderall because he didn't have ADHD, but he had access to acid. So that's what he used to try to get himself motivated. And as you do more and more of these hard drugs, your brain starts to get a little more fried. And I think that that's kind of what happened. He just fried his brain consistently. He was having trouble remembering things that were happening. I would say something to him and he would have no recollection of me saying, like, hey, I'm going to go do this thing. He'd come back and was like, where were you? And I'm like, I literally just told you I'm going to Target.
And are you working in an office?
I am.
Okay, so you're not home all the time.
No, and I don't know how much he's doing it. He said he's like trying to be spiritually aligned and he's getting really into spirituality and acting a little like cult leadery.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. So he, for example, would say that he wanted to be a part of a harem, I think the term is, where it's like one man and many women. And so when I say cult leader, I mean he was trying to take his spiritual beliefs and have us adopt those spiritual beliefs. And his goal was to have some type of commune or something where he like indoctrinated these people into his beliefs based on all these acid trips. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well, but he essentially wanted to take us and bring us into a compound and get us to like adopt all of his beliefs and just stay with him. But long story short, he essentially does the same thing to Kira that he did to me, not with the OnlyFans, but with the love bombing, where he was just completely taken by her. He was giving her gifts, he was praising her, drawing her in,
Wait, and
convincing her.
he's still with you.
Yep.
Do you know that he's doing this for her?
I did not know until she told me later.
How much later?
Kira!
Probably 3 months had gone by, I would say. And like, it's not like we were best friends. We were friends. So,
but she knew
was, like,
you were with him.
Mm-hmm. She thought that he was just like that type of guy that is just like really kind.
Just friendly dude.
It's just, and again, he just has this like innocence to him. And he convinced her as well. She wanted to do like yoga and theater as well. So he convinced her he could get her with the right people. And then he asked us to be in a throuple with him.
How did he ask that?
He talked to her separately, which I was very upset about on both of their ends, about they both kind of had feelings for each other. And then he manipulated me into trying to say, well, I am bisexual. So he thought that, well, you're bisexual, so you should have another girl in the relationship. And like, that's not how
Wait,
that
are
works.
you really bisexual, or did he make you say that because you had
I
connected
am
with
actually bisexual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And
he
he's
said,
like-
well, you're bisexual, so this is fine.
Yeah. So I was like, no. And I end up talking to her and just being like, look, like, I'm going to be real with you.
Not interested.
I'm not interested. And all of these things he's telling you are not true. Like, he is saying that he has all this money, that his business is doing well. I was like, he doesn't have anything going on. And I said, I'm not poly. Like, so the situation ends. Her and I stay friends, not close though. Well, I'm like, we'll stay friendly.
Yeah.
We've known each other for a long time. But she's super weirded out with Peter because she kind of gets so low down from me.
How are you feeling about him in this moment? Are you like, dude?
I'm still on medication, but I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed with him because he's trying to say he's doing it for me, and I know that's not true. So I'm just kind of
during that time, did you ever think, man, this medication's really making me all loosey-goosey, not give a crap and not realize, or did you not realize it at the time?
I didn't realize any of this, like that any of this was like a red flag because I was just so zonked out of my mind.
So the medication, it made you like kind of zombified a little bit? Like you're like, meh, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm naturally more energetic.
Yeah.
And it just made me completely flat. Like there was no personality. And my dad even had said something to me. And he was just like, you just don't seem like yourself. And I was just like, yeah.
Well, I just moved. My relationship, like there, you can make excuses for that behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And so he tried to keep getting Kira to come back. She started dating someone else and he was bent out of shape about it. And then Laura and I, from the beginning, started talking again, just as friends, because she reached out. She was such a good friend at one point, and her and I are talking. And she ends up going through a breakup and moving in with us in New Mexico.
Were you like, did you feel at all weird about that because they had their past?
Honestly, no, because she was so uninterested in him. I felt very okay.
Why do you have to keep living with
your exes
and the exes?
I know. It was just temporary. She was going to live in New Mexico too. So she was just like, I'm just going to stay here. Ended up being like 4 or 5 months, and Peter starts trying to get Laura in a throuple with us. And at first, he's doing it when she's drunk late at night when I'm asleep because I'm the only one working at this point. And so eventually she goes, "Hey, like I'm usually hungover, but I do remember last night, like he asked me if I had feelings for him. He kept asking. And he's telling me that the 3 of us are destined to be together."
Oh,
And I'm like,
Jesus
"Bro,
God.
what are you talking
Bro,
about?"
that's the acid, man.
Yeah, for real.
And Peter would essentially say he was so spiritually attuned and he just like knew what was going on and we couldn't possibly comprehend the universe's plan for us.
Yeah. Well,
So culty.
But Laura and I go out shopping one day and she stops me and she says, "We need to have a conversation. Do you want to be a part of this marriage?" And she says, "I think Peter thinks you're really stupid and he's lying to you and he's gaslighting you. And I'm seeing this." And she's like, "Every time that he tells you one thing, he comes and tells me the opposite and then has us talk and pits us against each other. Like,
Yes.
he clearly does not care what is going on in your life." So we end up talking and, his plan doesn't
comparing
work.
notes.
Yup.
Yeah.
And he's trying to buy Laura stuff off my dad's credit card, and Laura's weirded out. She's like, she has a job, right? After a week of moving to New Mexico, and Peter still doesn't have a job like a year later.
Wow.
And she ends up moving out because she's so uncomfortable. He's trying to hit on her. She can't take it anymore. And I encourage her to leave. I was like, "Please get out of here. Like, this is getting really weird."
Yeah.
So Laura and I, while she's living with me, are having heart-to-heart conversations sitting on my couch. And at the time, we both are clocking that there's a cat cam in the corner. It's up, so it's looking down on where we would sit on the couch. So we had asked Peter, we're like, "This has no sound, right? Like, we just, we're having these girl talks." And he's like, "Absolutely not. No sound. These cat cams are only visual, especially this one specifically. Don't worry. Plus, if it ever records, it makes a little like ding sound and it turns red." And we're like, "Great." So her and I are talking, having conversations about whether I'm happy in the relationship, how I'm doing mentally and physically. She's checking in on me and asks me straight up one day, like, "Do you want to stay in this relationship?" And we'd have that conversation. And then Peter would come home and say, "Hey, can I talk to you?" And he almost parrots what I was saying or what Laura was saying to me. And I thought that was a little strange. Like, we were talking about that earlier today. He's like, "Well, I just had this big spiritual insight. I'm just really connected with the divine and with source. And I just felt like you aren't happy. Like, what's going on?" So I would tell him, the same thing. I would tell him, like, "Yeah, these are my concerns." He would talk in circles until I didn't really know what my concerns were. And then we move on. Same another conversation. And every time we'd have these conversations, he'd come back that night and tell us, "Hey, like, I feel like you guys aren't happy, or I feel like this is going on." And it's the same exact conversation that Laura and I just had. And we just both thought that was really weird. But again, we had no evidence that he was doing anything weird. So she ends up leaving and we're talking on the phone. And I'm having this phone call. She's on speakerphone. I'm walking around my apartment and she asks me, "Do you want to stay?" And I'm double checking again because I'm just really worried with everything that I saw now that I'm out of the apartment, reflecting on it, talking to people about it. I'm really concerned about you and that these are huge problems that I have seen day to day. And I say, "I don't know. I think I'm considering leaving Peter." And 2 minutes after that, I get a phone call from Peter in the middle of the day, which is weird. So I was like, "Hey, I'm just going to put you on hold for a second." And I answer the phone and he's like, "Hey, can we talk?" And I was like, "Sure." And then he's like, "So I'm checking on the cats and it happens that the volume is working. And I hear you say that you're not happy and you're thinking about leaving me." And I was like, "You said there's no microphone capability on this." And he's like, "Well, there is, but it doesn't really work a lot of the time." I said, "So what did you hear?" And so he references 2 points in the conversation that are like beginning and end. And he's like, "I only popped in for a second." And I said, "Well, those are
two completely different parts of this conversation. If you popped in, you wouldn't have heard both of those pieces. And I'm thinking back as we're talking, and I know that these conversations that Laura and I have had, you've probably been listening in. And he's like, well, I've had some moments where I've listened in. And I was like, so why did you lie to me and tell me that you couldn't hear us? Like, just be honest and say that you're listening in or you're checking in, because now I feel really violated and I feel like naked. Like, everything that I thought, like, I'm talking to my dad on the phone and my mom, and conversations that are supposed to be private, and you're just listening to them. And he's like, yeah, I feel really embarrassed about it. And I was like, I need to hang up the phone because I'm really upset and really violated right now. And when I got off the phone with him and called Laura back, and we were going through all these different conversations that we'd had, and realized that the spiritual connection, and like it was in the back of our head, that's when we realized like every single conversation we had had while she was there for like 6 or 7 months with us, that he was probably listening in on.
Oh my God.
So I'm freaked out. And that's when he breaks down crying and suggests we go to couples therapy. He's like,
Oh,
yeah,
for the love of the lamb.
he's like, I'm messed up. I'm
Bless it.
so bad. And there is this pressure and embarrassment and shame and thinking about divorce for me. Because again, my parents are Catholic, and I'm just like, I don't want to be in this. But if there's a way that, I had just gotten married, like not even a year before that. And I'm like, how embarrassing and shameful would it be for everyone to come to this wedding, give me gifts, and then a couple months later, this is already crashing and burning. So I was like, I'm willing to do couples therapy. And so as I'm talking to my couples therapist and hearing the way that he's talking about me, I'm kind of realizing in that moment that there's no way that he's just going to sign divorce papers. There's no way. And I know he will fight tooth and nail, because at that point I am financially, emotionally, physically taking care of him. And if that gets pulled away, he has nothing. And so when you get people so desperate in those situations, that's when things happen. Like, they come and try to get violent with you, or maybe my dad's had a real concern that he's maybe going to snap and kill me, because he's just so unhinged at this point and panicked. And if you have everything hinging on one person, and that one person's like, nope, I'm out, you just don't know what's going to happen, especially with all of the other stuff. And our couples therapist hates him.
Of course.
Hates him. And he is so bent out of shape that she does not like him. He does not care that I'm expressing these feelings. He just texting me these paragraphs about how she's out to get him and she does not like him and she's not being like objective.
He's a victim.
They hate when people tell you what you did.
Mm-hmm. And so this is the point where I start seeing a new therapist. And when I went to talk to this new therapist, she asked me why I was on that specific med. She's like, this is an anti-seizure medication. This is a pretty serious medication to be on. And I was like, yeah, well, I was diagnosed bipolar. And she's like, by who?
You're like, my psychotic
boyfriend.
husband.
Or husband, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, well, my husband kind of hinted at it. And then we went to the therapist and they gave me the med and they just said, yeah, that sounds right. And she goes, okay, well, can I go through a questionnaire with you? And I said, yes, of
Like
course.
a real one?
A real one. And so she asked me hyper specific questions and I was like, no. And she's like, yeah, I personally, in my professional opinion, do not think you have bipolar disorder. And I was like, are you serious? And she's like, yes, like you have anxiety for sure.
It's just
But like, do you have bipolar too? Absolutely not. And she goes, you don't have these like
Wow.
huge manic states. And I was really relieved, but it also was a really empowering because it's like, aha, I knew I wasn't crazy. Like
Wow.
some of these things I've been doubting because I was worried I was bipolar. I was like, no, okay, I am not crazy.
Yeah.
Again, these are real things that I've been worried about, and I'm not manic and I'm not aggressive. I'm just really just feeling my feelings.
Yeah, and you can go back and look at everything and be like, wait a minute, I wasn't crazy. I wasn't wrong or dramatic or...
And then really affirming for me.
Yeah.
Good.
And I get off of this medication finally.
Ooh.
Praise God.
So when I finally got taken off this seizure medication, which was a whole tapering process because it's a really dangerous medication, it was like inching forward in clarity where my mind and body just weren't connected at all. And suddenly I was living in my own reality, which sounds bonkers. But all of a sudden, I was like aware of my surroundings. I was really clear headed. And moments where I was like, wait, what? And I couldn't follow or track conversations. I was just very lucid. I was very lucid and I was much more, Peter called it aggressive. I would call it just present. And those were the moments where I was able to be like, oh, like, yes, I'm understanding and tracking that you are trying to twist my words or talk in circles. And that was my moment to be like, pause. What are you trying to say right now? And so I was able to track the conversations and not get confused, which just felt so good and validating to me because in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, all of these things are happening, or oh, I know I'm right. But I couldn't really argue my way to the point where I was like, no, I'm right. And I was finally able to catch up with him and keep up with him so he couldn't completely bulldoze me. And Peter tells me he wants me to, this is out of nowhere, have sex with his two best friends.
What?
And I'm
Are
like,
they
I'm
guys
not...
or girls?
Two guys. Two guys.
Okay.
And I say, I'm not doing that. Like that's insane. And so we're playing Fortnite and I'm having fun with the two guys, like as friends, they're good guys.
Yeah.
And I get to know his friend Sam pretty well. And Sam starts admitting that he feels really weird that Peter asked him to be his best man because he's like, I didn't know you that well. I didn't even know you existed until he asked me to be his best man. Because Peter's like, this is my best friend. We've known each other for 5 years. And Sam's like, we've been in the same room twice in our entire life.
Oh my God.
I was like, how does your best friend not know that your fiance exists?
Dude.
Okay.
What? So I start telling Sam sometimes when it's just the two of us, he's like, how are you doing? And I start telling him some of these things about Peter. And he's like, that is so weird you said that because I heard the same story, but the complete opposite. Like that it was your fault or that like
you wanted to sleep with his friends.
Yeah.
And that my friend Laura, that we kicked her out because she was trying to kill herself. That's what he told Sam. That like, oh, Laura was trying to break up our relationship and she was trying to kill herself. And so that's why we had to get her out of the house. And I was like, what? Like this is everything I knew. And Sam would be like, oh, and he told me this and he told me this. And all of these lies started making sense where I was really understanding what was going on because I was getting his side of everything.
I was thinking when you were talking about Sam and how great he was, I was like, how does he have this great girlfriend or wife? He has these great friends. Like, where is he getting these great people?
Yeah,
and
that's
now
what
I'm like,
and now it's
he's
like,
not.
he's delusional.
Mm-hmm.
So you're putting it together, but you're married.
Yeah, so we're already married, but I'm starting to have more conversations with Sam. Peter wants to get a 3-bedroom. I said we can't afford it. And so he's like, well, what if Sam moves in?
Oh, here we go.
So he's like, Sam can move into the 3rd bedroom and pay rent. He's going to move to where we are anyway and just temporarily. And it's like, if he's going to help pay the rent, fine. We have 3 bedrooms.
Does Sam even want to after this conversation? Like, you guys know this guy's a compulsive liar.
So Sam and
Does Sam know he's moving in?
Yeah.
Sam and I have a conversation and he is like, you know what? Maybe for your safety should move in. And I was like, you're right. And so I was really kind of worried because I was like, if I'm working on trying to get out of this, there's no way without another person present that this is going to end well. Like there's a non-zero possibility that this guy breaks and tries to kill me.
So are you in your mind now trying to get out of the marriage?
Yeah.
So after Sam and I make this plot, I'm really thinking, I'm like, okay, this is when it becomes really real for me. I'm off the medication. I'm realizing,
a little bit more clear-headed.
Yeah, I'm looking back on all of this and I'm like, oh my God, I'm in so much trouble and I'm in so deep right now.
Because now you got married. Now you're legally tied to this guy.
And anything I do, he has criticism of, and I'm just like, why have I been putting up with this for so long?
Yeah.
And so Sam moves in, and Sam starts kind of like being a wall against Peter for me. So
Oh.
he's like, you and I are going to do our regular thing. We're gonna make dinner. We're gonna
So
go
Sam's on a
run errands.
mission.
Sam is on a mission. He is like literally an amazing person. He is like, he can come in the room. If you have a conversation, you text me, you call me, and you put me so I can hear. So I know that he's having a conversation with you. So Sam is determined. He is really weirded out that Peter's talking to me the way he is. And
Have you guys decided, like, I'm going to save this much money and then I'm going to tell him I'm getting
Yeah,
divorced and I'm leaving?
that's
Like,
a
do you
good
have a
question.
timeline in
Do you have a
place?
plan?
I have to start convincing him to sign a divorce paper. So that's my first thing. So I'm talking
Yeah.
to my parents and Sam and my cousin and anyone that I know. I'm like, how do I do this so that I can get him to divorce me? So I start gray rocking him.
What is that?
So
Please tell. Yeah, it's come up before, I think. Yeah, but tell
it's
everyone.
essentially when you have somebody bids for attention or does something wacky like he would do and you don't give them any response. So earlier how he said he got somebody pregnant and I said, "Oh, cool."
Yeah.
Like that's kind of gray rocking where
Yeah,
you
you
just
just say, okay.
Oh. You're not responding the
so
way they want you, that you
Right.
know
Because
they want
that's
you
what they
to.
want. They want you to get mad. They want you to give them attention.
Okay, gray rocking.
so I'm talking to my therapist and I'm like, "How do I do this?" And she goes, "You're going to have to be really kind of sneaky with it because you can't get him to blow up at you, but you need him to know this relationship is over."
Yeah.
So I talked to Sam and Sam is like, "Yes, like I will help you. I am more than happy to do this. I do not like this guy. Let's do this together." So the gray rocking, he's going to feel horrible. And
That does scare me about not to just gray rocking. I know they say it's like the only way to deal with a narcissist in a way.
Mhm.
However, I get so nervous where it's like you do need the person to stay level. You don't want to set them off. And it's like,
you want
that's
to be
my-
nice and make sure that they're maintaining, like they're not mad at you.
Right.
Like you don't want to anger them.
because gray rocking can anger them. And that scares
Yeah.
me. It's a tricky situation. I don't know.
Luckily, this did start working
Great.
where he would stop engaging as much because whenever he's mad, he would have pulled me out for 2 or 3 hour conversations.
Oh,
So
God.
so I would stop responding. I would stop fighting him. I would stop disagreeing with
So
him.
now it's just
and
a
I'd
1 hour
go,
conversation.
yeah. And then every time he would pull me in the room or pull me somewhere, Sam would just happen to show up and sit right between us.
Okay.
Thank God for him.
How did Peter Doug handle it?
Oh, he hated it. He was like, "Why are you here?" And he goes, "Well, I just think that as a member of the household, should be a part of a conversation."
Didn't you want a throuple?
Didn't
Sir?
you want
Didn't
him
you want a
to move in?
throuple?
You wanted him here so bad. Like,
And
Good.
so Peter one day came to me and he's just like, "I just feel like things aren't working. What if we get divorced as a kink?"
no. What?
What if we get
No.
divorced
Oh,
as a
divorce?
kink?
Darn. Okay, that sounds
I was
sexy. I'll
like-
sign it.
"Oh man, that would be funny. That would be fun." So
Wait, so is he asking it like, I still want to hook up with you. We're just going to get divorced and that's
As
going to
a
make it
kink.
sexier.
And he's like, "And the divorced sex would be so good." And I was like, "Oh yeah, totally. Like
That sounds
that sounds like a
amazing.
great idea."
Are
And
you like so
You're
excited
so
in your head?
brilliant.
Like
I'm
finally.
so excited. And this is May, June of last year.
Wow.
Yep. And so we end up getting papers filed and we get him to move out by just like Sam's like, "We're going to do everything together. We're going to cook together. We're going to, go for a walk. We're just going to like, line up." He worked from home. I worked from home. He goes, "So he cannot get in your space."
Yeah.
He goes, "So if he comes
He's gonna
to
feel
you, he's
defeated.
gonna come." Yeah. So I was like, that is an awesome idea. And so we like to joke now that Sam kind of saved my life because we were really worried about, my dad was like, there was a non-zero chance that he could snap. But Sam was just there and he just kept the energy of real life. Like,
He
he's
was
like,
like,
"Yeah,
"We're gonna
man, like,
I
de-escalate."
was
whatever."
like, this is normal.
He
And Peter's like,
de-escalated.
the fuck?
Damn, Sam. Is Sam.
Good job, Sam.
We'll get to it. I got
And then essentially how we end this chapter is we divorce, we finalize, and then he uses my credit card after we're divorced, months after. So I ended up kind of cussing him out a little. And then not too long ago, Sam and I started dating.
I was
after
just gonna
months
say
of
it.
hearing.
I was like,
Yep.
did you date him?
Yep. Just months that we did some healing. And I mean, he is literally probably the reason I am okay, because he's the reason I'm telling my story. Because he told me one day, he's like, this is such a traumatic story for you. You need to go tell this so other women can
Yes. So
know.
other women, period. So other women.
And so it's just been like really, it's been really interesting because I've uncovered so many lies post divorce that Sam and I have gone through. The first month where we lived together, we just sat down and we're like, let's go through a timeline of things that have happened that you know and I know, and let's compare notes. And it was just wild.
Give us like the top 3.
So I never 100% found out that he moved to London, but there was no evidence whatsoever, not even a picture on his phone to prove that he went to London. And I think that it would be highly unlikely to go to a different country for the first time and not take a single picture. So you might remember Lily, who Peter said he visited in London and had gotten her pregnant. So what I found out about Lily is that Lily is a real person, but he did not go see her. So Peter knows Lily through that same program, that like music camp that he found those other contacts through. So Lily at this time would have been underage, under 18, when he would have visited her and got her pregnant. And she is a real person because he was so specific with the name that she uses and the name that her real name. And there is a person that meets all those criteria. So I feel really weird about it because I found her actual Instagram profile. I did some sleuthing. I found out through a series of like, profiles who this person is. And the fact that he created a fake relationship and love interest with a minor is super alarming to me. I did find out that he is not a music producer. He has access to software that you can edit music on, but he does not do anything professionally. He does everything recreationally. So he does not work for Sony. He does not work for any big music company. And he said that verbatim to me, that he was just trying to impress me. Also, Peter told Sam that Peter's mom was the #1 exotic vet in the country. And she was a vet receptionist in real life.
Fucking Doug.
Maybe Doug's mom was the exotic veterinarian.
Maybe it was Doug's. Poor Peter, he's confused.
And that people were after us too. That was Sam's other favorite.
Like the mob?
Yeah, like he wouldn't elaborate either. He's just like, people are after us, man.
Oh.
My brother just told us too recently that Peter had texted my brother and said that he was getting severed fingers in the mail. That's what he was telling my family.
Oh,
like
God.
during when he was doing his streaming.
They were Doug's.
I was like, what? So people have came forward and just told me real wacky
They were
things,
Doug's fingers.
Like,
oh my God. Okay. What? Okay. So you get him to sign those divorce papers. Take us.
No, he got her to sign them.
Right.
It was his idea.
So just
Was he so turned
how
on?
did you like immediately move on from all of this? What did you do?
So I feel like mentally I left the relationship months before. Because
of course.
But I did a lot of therapy, and my family was really like, oh, you need to heal. And I was like, I've been healing.
So they were supportive?
They were supportive. Oh my God, they wanted me to leave so bad.
Good.
And there was actually, we had a little party when we finalized everything.
Ooh,
Divorce
good.
party.
Yeah.
So how much do you tell your family, and how is that conversation?
So they don't know everything. We've talked through things as things have gone on. I don't necessarily feel awesome about them knowing everything because I feel like there's just so much of a question for people who don't understand my mindset of like, well, why didn't you leave? And I feel like that question. Yep. And you just don't understand if you're not in it. When you're completely submissive and zoned out and you are worked to the brim, you just don't have any energy and you can't like process things.
The meds
the way
took everything from you, it seems.
The way you phrased it, like he wore you down into submission, is very common. Very common.
Well, and he saved you from probably the most traumatic thing that's ever happened to you. He came along and saved you and spent a year proving himself. So he rebuilt that trust. And now she's like, man, he's showing consistency for a whole year. This guy put in the work, so I can trust, right? Like you're like this.
I can trust him, and I can put up with 1 or 2 moments of relapse, if you will.
And so, like, if I'm doing these things that I don't like, I mean, he really did save me. So, right? Was there any moment of that where you're like, well,
Totally.
I gotta stay with this guy? Like, he saved me.
There was a lot of that, especially when the OnlyFans stuff started, because that was like the first kind of before all this happened, where I was just like, like I'm mad, but this guy just have saved me from getting raped again, from, having Finn attack me, from some really traumatic things happening for me. So I like willing to not excuse, but step back and think and be willing to hear his side on things.
Yeah.
Because he saved me.
And then for the next year, he was consistent in his safety and comfort for you.
And he was normal. So I knew there was that normal piece probably somewhere in him.
And you're just hoping it comes back.
Wow. Oh my God.
I have a couple questions about the OnlyFans stuff. Please feel free to skip some, like this is so much. You survived a rape and then this comes up. Yeah. And like, was there any feeling of your body was already not your own? Like going into these positions where they're kind of coercing you into porn and all of these things that you're not like, you're saying these meds kind of shut you down. I just could imagine that you're like, fuck it. Like what, like I've already lost this battle.
So I felt like after the first time with the OnlyFans stuff was essentially like, in a way, not complete rape, but something adjacent to that.
Because you still didn't want it.
You were coerced. And it was not enthusiastic consent.
Right.
It wasn't. And so after the first time, it was like, and I think I've already heard other women say this, but it's just like you let it happen and you just completely dissociate from your body.
Yep.
Because you don't feel safe. You don't have any control. So you're like, well, this has happened to me and I know I can get through this, but I just have to dissociate. So I was just kind of dissociated and numb from it. And to be really honest with you, it took me probably 6 or 8 months after even the divorce to feel safe in my body.
Yeah.
Still.
Wow, man. Whenever you did find connection again with Sam, to be intimate again, was it hard?
Yeah, it was so hard. And I luckily have the world's best person with me. And when I told him that, because I was like really embarrassed about it, and he was just like, I will literally am fine if you feel like we need to hold hands, if we just need to like sit next to each other, if you just need time where you need to re-regulate your nervous system. I don't care about the intimacy stuff as much as I care about the fact that you're regulating yourself, you're getting better.
Well, he was in it to be your hero from the beginning. He was like, he
moved in.
Did you learn later, or have you learned since, that he kind of really liked you in a more romantic, I guess, way? Did he want you before, when he lived with you guys?
I think yes, but the thing about him is he would like literally, it all came from a spot, and he's been really honest with me. He's like, I liked you. I like thought you were wonderful and kind of my dream girl, but at the same time, like my priority at that moment, that piece of me was just like locked away because like I was more worried about like you dying, or like
he was showing you love without being inappropriate.
And it sounds like he respected you even more than he had a crush on you.
He was showing his love in a way, even if he was never going to be with you, which he probably, he didn't know one way or the other, but just to show you that love by providing you that safety is, I think, incredible. Good job, Sam.
Okay, Sam.
Yeah, he's amazing. I mean, seriously, I feel like even though this bad thing happened to me, I feel like I got so lucky, like karma came and swung back, and I've gotten somebody who just like unconditionally validates me and hears me and helps me regulate myself to the point like I would be completely like probably messed up in the head way more,
and was willing to wait for you to get where you needed to be without pressure. And does your family like Sam?
Oh my gosh, yeah. My whole family, they love him. My grandma loves him. And every time I come visit,
you know that visit.
She always talks about how kind and handsome he is. So I feel good, and it's one of the relationships where I don't have to try to show, "Hey, this is a good guy." He just shows it, you know?
Yes, you don't have to be
You don't have to
worried and like
prove him to
prepping.
someone else. Like you don't have to
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
defend
ugh.
how he is or whatever.
So he's amazing. And you talked about people saying, why didn't you leave? Like, what are some things that he has said or friends have said or that you wish somebody would say to a survivor of all of this? Like, how can somebody show up and be a good support system for someone going through this in your mind?
Talk to your people. Talk to your friends, talk to your family. If you are a victim or somebody who's trying to support a victim, you have to communicate the things that are uncomfortable. Because even though I like don't know if I would have listened to everything at the time, I still think that I wish I would have heard some of the things that people have come and told me.
Yeah.
Is it almost like they say that, you know, if you're trying to talk to your child, like I have an 11-year-old son, and I've heard forever and ever that you talk to your kid and you think they're not listening, but they hear you, and sometimes they roll your eyes and they're like, whatever, mom, and they close the door or whatever, but they still hear you. And so
Mhm.
It's in the back of your
it sounds like you're
mind.
almost saying that, like you hear these people and you might not listen to them and you might just ignore them and roll your eyes, but you hear it. And you kind of go back to that when you're looking for safety or you're looking for help, you kind of hear those words. Like they've said it.
Yeah, and there's some things too, I'm like, even though I would have heard you and that could have actually made a difference, like some of the things I've heard post-divorce, like, he said XYZ, or he said, that he was, like, talking to other women, and I was like, Well, we could have had this conversation and yeah, maybe it wouldn't have made too much of a difference, but
Maybe it would
you
have.
gotta communicate."
Okay, that's good because sometimes those conversations are so hard. You're afraid of the person's reaction. There's a way to do it without making them feel stupid,
Yeah, at least share
but
it
you
so
still have to do
I can
it.
put it aside and then later if I need that information, it's nice to have had it.
Yeah, it's like, I just want you to know you can do with this information what you want because that also gives you the control in a position where you
Yeah.
don't have control. And then and I'm here for you,
Yep.
Yeah.
Like you just we all have to do that for people more.
Mhm.
I would say that the other thing too is just make sure to be supportive and just, like, no judgment. Because I think the times when people came with me like, "Hey, just tell me what's going on, no judgment," that's when I was most honest and most willing to open up.
Amazing. You reached out to OnlyFans.
Mhm.
How'd that
What
go?
happened with OnlyFans?
They told me that all of the information from the account has been wiped. So they have no record of anything, and they can't tell me how much was made, and they can't give me any login information because the account has been switched because he's now dating this 19-year-old, and I think that she is a part, and I don't know for sure, but I think they're now using that platform because that account was wiped, everything,
Um,
all the information.
no, I'm sorry. Onlyfans.com or .gov or whatever the hell it is.
.gov.
And you mean to tell me that they do not have the false? Absolutely false.
False.
I think that no, I think that is false. I think they do not want to get sued. I think that information can be subpoenaed, and I think in a court of law, I think it can be. Can you ask your dad? What kind of judge is your dad?
Yeah.
Like, can't you say like, hey, yo,
What do we
bro,
do? Well, I don't know if you want to tell your
I know that's my only thing is, like,
you have
then
to tell him.
I have to tell him, and I don't want him mixed up in it because
Yeah, then it could affect him negatively. I just wanna know how he created an OnlyFans account because OnlyFans requires you to not only send identification, but also confirm your identification. Like, don't they make you
He
send your
probably
ID and
stole
a
her
picture?
ID, took pictures. He had access to all her stuff.
my
lived
birth
together.
certificate, my Social
Yeah,
Security, and my ID
oh
all were
my
in his
god.
safe.
Wow. I know that with a subpoena, that information is available. There is absolutely no way that's not available. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. I want our attorneys. I want our techies. I don't care if you have to be anonymous. I want to hear from our audience. I know
Like, how do we
one of y'all knows somebody else who
confirm?
knows somebody else at the onlyfans.gov who will like know something.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to talk to someone better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've gotten nowhere, absolutely nowhere, and they said there's no information.
Between the following that we have, the audience that we have, somebody knows somebody who knows somebody else who knows information. And that's also what's cool about platforms like this is that number one, it helps other people feel like they're not alone, which is so important, which is why I'm so grateful to people like you who come on and share your story so bravely, because that's a big thing. Is like, I'm not alone, but also it gives people it's almost like an encouragement to stand up and
it
be a little
lights a
braver.
fire.
And then it's like, oh, everybody knows somebody who knows somebody.
Or
and
has been through something.
Or has been through something. And so somebody's going to be like, my mom or my aunt or my somebody dealt with this and this is what happened. And so if you guys know how to help, it would be really great to get that information. But
so he's dating a 19-year-old and she's, you know, this because of just social media or something?
Some of my friends still follow him because they want to make sure that he's not up to anything for specific reason.
Yeah.
And we did a little bit of sleuthing because I was worried and I saw how young this girl was that was on his profile, and it really like brought out the maternal instinct in me.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's 19 and he's definitely having her swing because our former Reddit that he was using is his bio has changed from not a couple anymore to we're a bi couple looking to XYZ, some like swing or something like that. And then we're leaving where they're living soon. So I know it's been switched and he is probably having her do some similar stuff.
Have you ever thought about reaching out to her? It's not your responsibility necessarily, but curious.
Yes. My only hesitation is that I don't know if I would have listened early on in that stage, especially with the love bombing. Like if he's doing the same things and
he's going to say you're crazy.
It's easy to be like, my ex-wife is freaking crazy. She's with my ex-best friend now. And then he could easily just be like, oh, you know, she cheated on me with him and she's just out to get revenge.
Yeah.
And so I've thought about it and I'm still thinking about it. It's not off the table yet.
I think you do I always think about what's best for you first.
Follow your gut and your heart on
if you
that.
feel
because that
like putting it behind you, then put it behind you.
What do you do? Brian with a Y. Do you tell the wife? Do you not? Like, do you know? There's no right answer. So following your gut, following your fem tuition. I just, damn.
Oh my gosh. But I'm glad. Oh, I'm so glad you came to talk to us because this is really powerful.
Did Doug ever come back?
Where's Doug?
Oh yeah, all the personalities merged on an acid trip. That's what he told me.
All the personalities. How many were there?
No idea. Doug's the only one that I actually met. He said the other ones didn't want to meet me. So
I am
the hell.
I hate when people use, and this happens all the time, people use mental illness as weaponize it.
They weaponize it.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
I'm
so proud of you and grateful to know you. And thank you to Sam's sister. Is that who listens?
Sam's sister's
Sam's sister listens to Dating Detectives.
Okay.
I love that you have that relationship with her and can tell her this.
Sister. Thank you, not Sam's sister. His name is Sam, y'all. Y'all know we anonymize, but thank you, not Sam's sister.
Seriously. And I hope
we really appreciate you.
I hope this was in some ways cathartic. I know it's really hard to relive it all. So
Sam, thank you for taking care of our girl.
Yeah.
We are.
And don't fuck it up. As RuPaul says.
He'll love that.
Hannah's so cute. She
Said
loves
with
a good happy
Said with
ending.
love.
Thank you so much for sharing. I want updates and we're gonna need pictures of you guys and I want to see Sam. Do you want to share a little bit about what that's been like for you, sharing your story on the TikTok?
Sure. Yeah, I shared my story. Sam encouraged me to share, and my friend Laura, who we're still friends, she's the one who told me you got to share this on TikTok. And it's been the first one I thought, and I've not really posted a lot. I was like, okay, this is maybe going to get like 1,000 views. And I got like 80,000 views. And I was like, holy moly. So I had to kind of switch courses and learn how to kind of tell my story, but keep people captivated because I do want to share it and want people to like understand what I went through and take something away if they can. But I also like, if I just tell my story, it's not necessarily entertaining. So I'm kind of trying to make sure that I'm getting the story out there, doing a good job.
Well, the more entertaining it is, the more people listen, the more the conversation goes on. So yeah,
it's been awesome. Like getting so much like support.
It is supportive. Okay, good.
Yeah, 400 supportive comments from like women from like, 18 to like 50 and DMs.
All different ages.
It's so good. So many girls on there. And it's just been awesome to like have that support. And I'm hoping to continue telling it. I had to take a pause because I just got to the OnlyFans stuff. And I just have to like think through kind of trying to keep the details correct.
I think that's
get trouble.
Good that you're taking your time and doing it in the way that feels comfortable. But I will tell you, we did an episode recently. She shared her story on TikTok and found other people who had dated the same person, and they were able to connect and support one another. I don't know, but maybe it'll get to this 19-year-old in some way and help her just by sharing your story. You never know.
I hope so.
You never know.
If you know Peter Doug, stay away.
Yeah.
Please.
Peter Doug and all their friends.
Oh my God. It's sad how many people are doing what he's doing with the online stuff. I mentioned Andrew Tate a while ago. He taught a course on how to manipulate women into doing OnlyFans and manage them. I mean, the fact that this new thing has popped up on the internet and people are as shitty as they've always been. And they're like, how can we use it to control women and make money off of women and dehumanize women? So thank you for talking about it.
Holy bananas. Can we talk about OnlyFans? Can we talk about the OnlyFans? OnlyFans is supposed to be a place where it's like, oh, giving women the right to like take back your sexuality
and to have full ownership of that.
Yeah. But you also have to, if you're going to do that, then you also have to protect the people that you're offering the services to or the platform to, right? Like, I feel like there should be more checks. Like,
yeah. I agree. And I hate the response that she got from them. I think he should not be allowed on that site ever again because he's almost definitely going to do this again if he's not already.
Especially if there's no consequence. Of course he's going to do it. He knows now that he can get away with it, so he can keep doing it.
And they should, I mean, OnlyFans, if you're listening, you need to be working harder on the legal action against people that are taking advantage of people on your site because at least in the state of California. So we had the episode, The OnlyFans Pimp, years ago at this point.
We're still in contact with those young ladies.
Exactly. And it's unfortunate that this is still a thing. And I think it's going to be a thing for a while because people are really slow to respond to it. In the state of California, like coercion is not part of the legal definition of trafficking, first of all. So you like have to be forced physically and like touched or
someone has to put their hands on you or their body on you physically, which sucks because how like it's so hard to prove coercion.
So let alone that, then you add this virtual element of it. And I know
the laws haven't caught up with it.
Molly has talked to DAs as she's working with them for our OnlyFans Pimp girls and stuff. And they have all said, like, we believe it's trafficking, but it's not legally trafficking.
Because the verbiage of the laws do not represent that. So the laws need to be rewritten in a way that allows for coercion and allows for the prosecution of those aspects. So it's basically semantics.
These abusers. Prosecution of these abusers.
Yes, which they can't do anything to right now because the law, the way that it's written, doesn't apply to it because we have not caught up yet.
And I'm going to go as far as to say OnlyFans is in a prime position to lead that charge. Like, why are they not lobbying for changes in trafficking laws?
Absolutely.
Why are they
absolutely
not, if they say this is their brand to protect and empower people who want to be sex workers, then you need to protect everyone, including people taking advantage of your site. And I just don't see that happening. And it sounds like with her, they did not do that. So,
well, and you would think with this happening more and more, you would think they would be buckling down on it, which from what I understand, OnlyFans does have a very rigid application policy.
Then how the hell did he get on as her? Excuse me.
That's what I'm saying. And I know that like if there's ways to bypass laws and there's way to bypass their rules and the ways to get past it, I'm sure, but they need to be buckling down on that, especially because this is happening more and more and more. So the laws need to be changed. Our government needs to respond to the need for this because who do you call? You call the cops and they're like, well, did somebody touch you? No. Well, there's something we can do. They don't know how to respond to online actions.
And how can they prove that you are not the person that posted those things? It's tricky. I get it. I don't care. Like it's happening enough. And it is also happening primarily to women, which I think leads to less action. If this was happening to a bunch of dudes, I do think we'd already have laws in place.
For
My
sure.
hot take. And it's always been a thing. I wrote down, it's an older documentary, so I'm not sure if it holds up, but there's a documentary called Hot Girls Wanted about the porn industry. Did you ever see that?
Yes, I did see that.
It was a really great look at how people who willingly go into the porn industry are also coerced into doing way more than they initially want to do.
Yes.
And that came up with this. And I think it's very easy to be on the outside and say, like, why didn't you leave? Why didn't you say no? Let's talk about all of the factors that were going into this trauma for Abby, because there was so much.
That's a big reason why I appreciate when people like Abby come on and share your story, because the more we talk about it, the more someone is forced to do something about it. Like the powers that be, if you will, are kind of, we're forcing their hand. And so if you come forward, it encourages someone else to come forward. It creates a conversation. And then people can't just bury their heads in the sand and be like, oh, we don't see anything, dum-de-dum. If more and more people talk about it, now they're forced, like their hand is forced. Now we have to address this. And OnlyFans should be held accountable for something because they're putting this on their platform.
Yeah. Okay. That's a lot. So I want to go through the moments where she was kind of coerced into sexual video making and OnlyFans content making. Like, let's start with, she's coming out of trauma when she gets back with him.
Oh, yeah.
He takes advantage of these unmet needs.
At that point, it's the devil, right? So she knew what he was before, but he was being this good guy to her. So she trusted him because
her hero.
Familiar is usually safe, even if it's not your standard of safety or your standard of comfort. If it's familiar to you, even if it's abusive, it's still safe, right?
I think it's important to remember it is never your fault if you go through any kind of trauma. Mm-hmm. But that does, it just sucks. It makes you more susceptible to scams and being taken advantage of no matter the trauma. And it's not your job. I hate the feeling of like, oh, you have trauma, so now you have to protect yourself. Like, it's not what I'm saying, but we can take away the reminder that when we're in a vulnerable position, that's when the people strike.
Well, and that goes back to our episode, the OnlyFans episode that we were talking about before. Whenever we talked to an expert in sex trafficking, she said verbatim, they prey on unmet needs. And that vulnerability is from an unmet need. Yeah. And so those unmet needs, the vulnerabilities, those get preyed on, taken advantage of, and it gives you a false sense of security or false sense of safety. And the bad guy, the perpetrator, he knows that. And they know how to take advantage of that. And it's awful how they manipulate it. It's terrible.
He did it. And then, so they get back together. This set me off. He plants the idea that she has bipolar disorder because she has
Dr.
emotions.
Dr. Peter Doug said, you have emotions, you have bipolar.
Ooh, as a moody gal, I mean, we
are both emotional creatures. Like, yes. Could you imagine?
And if anybody ever makes you feel bad for human feelings, which is more common than we think, it's not okay. And then beyond that, one, your partner should not be making those diagnoses. Like, even if they say like, hey, I want to help you, I think mental health is something you might want, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a way to approach it and say like, I would love to support you and maybe getting into therapy, whatever. But it's not like, hey, you're the problem, you're bipolar, I know more than you, and so you need to get on meds.
Imagine being on meds because your partner said you're bipolar, and then a medical professional says, oh, your partner said that? Yeah, sure. Here's some medicine.
Yes.
And then it actually makes you lose your freaking mind. Cause I learned, recently even, that I've been taking Adderall for ADHD. I didn't realize it was making me mad. I thought I was just a bad person. And then so obviously there's certain meds that work for you and some that don't. And so as soon as I stopped taking them, I felt better. And I was like, oh, okay, then that tells me now that this medicine does this. And so if you're not aware of that, or if that's not something you're really thinking of, and you think you're just like honoring your partner or doing the right thing because that's what he said, because now you trust this guy, the devil, you know, and he saved you from this trauma. So he's this person that you trust. Like,
he's also telling you that you're a problem. Like, if he's like, you're bad, if you're not like getting medication, then you're a bad partner. Like, you just start to get worn down. When you get diagnosed with something like that, it should be a full diagnosis process. This doctor clearly just took the boyfriend's word for it and was like, all right, and throw the medicine at you. And that wasn't cool, especially because there wasn't any kind of ongoing follow-up for that medication. She became very foggy, very numb. You know how I know she was really foggy? Because when she was telling us the story, she skipped over them getting married.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She did.
And that's a
She
trauma
was like,
response
she was
too.
like, whoopsie, forgot this part. And we're like, wait,
The whole
what?
wedding.
Yeah.
She was like, well, I was so foggy the whole time. And that's just like
And
devastating. And I hated when he was like, you're bisexual, so you should have more partners because one, it's like a biphobic stereotype that people think we're all slutty. We're not slutty. Some of us are,
well,
and
no,
go for it.
no
But-
matter what your sexual preference is, it doesn't, there's a sexual preference and then there's polyamory or a desire to be with multiple people. It's not the same thing.
And also you can't just force that on people. He was very manipulative with that, but she didn't fall for that as much. But still, it's important. His like spirituality kind of having authority over her.
Yes.
The spiritual bypassing that people do to make you feel inferior and like you don't know enough and you have to follow their lead. It comes up a lot. It's come up before and it will probably come up again. I'm glad that she was able to kind of start seeing that. But even leaving, I mean, like how hard, the scariest part of all of this, despite how much she went through, was the moment when she was trying to leave.
Yeah, that is usually the scariest part because it's the unknown of, okay, when I leave, how are they going to respond? And it's the devil you know when you stay. The devil you don't know is scarier. And the scary part is, okay, if I leave, that's the devil I don't know. So I'm not sure what to expect. But when you stay, at least you know what to expect. It's that familiar safety.
Some things that I took away from her journey of leaving that we can all remember. One, the cat cam. He was like listening through the cat cam.
Y'all, there's so many different ways that you can listen in on someone. So just be careful what you say. Good Lord, because it's for real.
I mean, if you've been listening for a while, you know that. So I do think if you're ever in a position where you're starting to think about leaving, but you feel unsafe in any way, you're not overreacting if you get a burner phone and have those conversations on a different phone, or don't have those conversations in your home. You can go to a public library and go on their computer. Like there are other, I know it's easier said than done, but it is a good reminder that you're not crazy for taking those precautions because people really will take advantage of a cat cam or anything.
It's true. And honestly, listen, I'm just going to keep it real. Okay. There are times when people will say, oh, you're doing that. Oh, that's a little extreme. Don't you think? Listen, I've been a PI for 20 years. And when I tell you this stuff is real, it really happens. And so why not? Like we have the ability to be more cautious. Why are we not using them? Why? Because we might be crazy. The right people in your life will be like, yep, that's actually really smart, or they'll be accepting of it. But the people who don't understand, those are going to be the ones that are going to, oh, that's really weird. And it's like, listen, be weird, be rude, stay alive. If you don't like it, get out, I guess. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Be weird, be rude, stay alive. Ashley Flowers. We love that.
Yes.
I completely agree. And I think, okay, so that's the one reminder is like, protect yourself and don't feel crazy.
Listening, and you are not crazy for wanting to do more.
And community, if this episode makes you think about the way that after her roommate assaulted her and she didn't really feel a response from her friends, like we got to remember to be there for people, even if they're not our closest friend, even if we feel like we're intruding. I think just letting people know that you are someone that they can call goes so much farther than you realize. And
even just listening, like even just being an ear and saying, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And I think a lot of people feel uncomfortable because what do you say? It's like when someone dies in your life, you're like, oh, I'm sorry. And you're like, what do you say? So I think it's uncomfortable. But if you're ever uncomfortable and someone comes to you with something, all you have to say is, I am here for you. How can I support you? What can I do to support you? How can I support you in the best way? And it's more than like, oh, what can I do for you? It's how can I support you?
Yeah.
Ask an open-ended question. How can I support you? And let them tell you. And they might not know right away. They might say, I don't know. But eventually they're going to know that you've left that open and they have somewhere just to go, just to talk. And maybe you can figure it out together. But just say, what can I do to support you? And sometimes that's the best question.
To easily transition into someone who did go above and beyond in their support, I wrote down, is Sam single? And then later I got to write down, no, they're together.
Hannah loves a love story. I love when they end happily. And I'm so happy for Abby that Sam was the guy. Like, and I hate to say this, but I really feel that sometimes we go through things to put us where we're supposed to be. And so that's where, I don't know, I feel like Sam was able to prove himself and they like to her and he was there for her. He was the one who listened and she got to be with him. And so no matter what happened, like, I don't know, I would, people ask like, would you change what happened? No, because I don't know that I'd end up here.
Oh, Sam seemed like, well, if he wasn't, I mean, I was like, he's so into her. There's no way he's like, I'm glad if he is just genuinely this supportive, then that's incredible. But I am glad that I was like, come on, there's something going on here.
Together too. I love it.
So shout out to Sam and to Abby and to Sam's sister, who is the listener that encouraged Abby to find us. So
yeah, she said, you need to go on the Dating Detectives. And she said, what's that? And she's like, let me explain it to you. And so the community grows and it just offers another story that just goes to show you that you are not alone. You are not the only one this is happening to. No, you are not crazy. A lot of people say they don't share their story because it just sounds so outlandish. And like, who's going to believe me? We'll listen to you. We'll believe you. You have a platform, an ear.
And thousands of people listening that will also believe you.
If dozens of thousands. There's a lot. There's hundreds of thousands, to be honest.
Can I say that like Sam got points when I found out it was his sister that listens because I'm like, okay, now I like trust his family more.
Yes, I know. And I'm so happy for Abby. Like, Abby, thank you so much for sharing your story so bravely. I'm so glad that you are where you are now. And you guys, if this is not an example of adding to that community, man, I don't know what is. So thank you so much for continuing to share the Dating Detectives. And when you share it on your social media, it's really important because that's a lot of people tell us, they're like, oh, I saw it on so-and-so's Instagram or social media or Facebook. And so that's also just a really great way to connect. So thank you for sharing on your socials.
I also love if you ever want to write a comment to our guests that's supportive under the videos that we've posted on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever, or you want to send an email, we try to pass that along to our guests. So you can do that. And it's just special to see everybody coming together. And Patreon is a place to come together even more. $5 a month for a community that is constantly chatting. I love going into the little message, the chat room.
It's amazing.
We have a book club. We have 2 bonus episodes every month. We go live with you. You get early access to stuff like merch. And if you want to get all of that, plus ad-free listening to all of our episodes.
Girlfriend experience.
Mm-hmm. $9 a month.
Oh, and can we say, so like we said before, that we're actually recording this together in LA because we have a Spotify event tonight. And the reason that we got invited to the Spotify event was because of you guys who listen and support our show. So thank you so much. And if you get a chance, will you please like and do what do you do, like 5 stars or something? Like,
give us 5 stars,
a good review on whatever platform you listen. That really helps our podcast to grow. So it grows our community and we get to go represent the Dating Detectives at the Spotify event, which is really cool. So thank you so much.
Hopefully it's an escape room with other podcast hosts. So hopefully we get out.
Yeah, because it's like the true crime thing. Like if we don't win, then we're gonna be like,
if we don't get out of the escape room, this might be the last episode, guys. We're gonna have to live there.
We will get out. We will get out.
There was like a look in your eye just now that was like, we will get out. It was very Liam Neeson of you.
We will listen, my family and I, especially my son, my 11-year-old son, he can get out of an escape room. Like we have not failed an escape room yet. So I'm not gonna let him down.
I've done it one time and I failed. So we'll report back. But we're going to have a good time no matter what. Thank you. We love you guys.
We love you so much. And as always,
trust your intuition.